Hi, this is Dr. Muhammad Saim Khan, and you very well know me. We are in week three of this e-commerce and digital marketing course. So this is the last topic of this week. So without any further delay, let's start it. It's e-commerce growth and challenges in India, right? So the contents, the outline of this particular video are on your screen. Of course, there will be an introduction and a conclusion, and we'll try to understand e-commerce in Indian context, evolution of e-commerce in India, drivers of e-commerce growth in India, digital payment and logistic infrastructure, etc., etc., etc. And then we'll conclude. So let's start with the introduction. E-commerce in India has moved from being a niche digital activity to one of the most important drivers of modern business growth, consumer convenience, and entrepreneurial opportunity. Over the last 2 decades, India has witnessed a major transformation in the way people buy products, compare prices, make payments, and interact with brands online. What began as a limited urban activity connected to early intent users and a small number of online marketplaces has expanded into a large ecosystem that includes retail platforms, mobile commerce, digital payments, social commerce, B2B marketplaces, and app based business models. This expansion has been shaped by a combination of technological progress, changing consumer behavior, policy support, better logistics, rising smartphone adoption, and improved digital payment systems. At the same time, Indian e commerce continues to face structural and operational barriers such as unequal infrastructure, trust deficits, return management problems, cybersecurity issues, and intense competition. For learners in business, entrepreneurship, and digital economic studies, the Indian case offers a valuable example of how digital markets grow in a developing and highly diverse economy. So let's understand e-commerce in the Indian context. So e-commerce refers to the buying and selling of goods and services through electronic systems, right? Especially internet-enabled platforms and applications. In practice, this includes product discovery, price comparison, ordering, payment, delivery coordination, customer support, and post-purchase services. You know this all by now. So this broader understanding is important because e-commerce is not limited to the final act of purchasing. It includes the entire digital customer journey. In India, e-commerce has developed in distinct way compared with many Western markets. In several developed countries, desktop internet and card based payments shaped early online shopping behavior, but in India, the real acceleration came through low cost smartphones, mobile apps, affordable internet data, cash on delivery, and later UPI enabled digital payments. As a result, the Indian e commerce model is highly localized and reflects the specific realities of its infrastructure, consumer habits, and market diversity. Let's discuss the evolution of e-commerce in India. Well, the early phase of e-commerce in India was marked by limited online participation, low trust, and restricted payment options. Consumers were often hesitant to purchase online because of fears related to fraud, a poor product quality, delivery failures, and lack of refund mechanisms. However, as platforms improved and we can say evolved uh, user experience and built stronger service systems, online buying became increasingly acceptable to middle class urban consumers. A major turning point came with the rise of domestic and international platforms such as Flipkart and Amazon India, along with specialized players such as Myntra. These firms invested in warehouse systems, delivery infrastructure, app based shopping, better product range, discount strategies, and customer friendly policies. Their expansion helped normalize online buying and introduced millions of Indian consumers to e-commerce as a routine part of life. Another transformative stage was the rise of mobile commerce. The shift from desktop based browsing to smartphone based shopping changed platform design, advertising strategy, and payment behavior. In India, this shift was especially significant because for many users, the smartphone became the first and the only gateway to the internet. Okay, let's discuss the drivers of e-commerce growth in India. Let's talk about them. The very first one is smartphone penetration. We have already discussed this thing in a little while. Let's do it in detail. So, smartphones are the central engine of Indian e-commerce growth. I think you all will agree. Their affordability, portability, and personal nature have enabled users to access shopping platforms at any time and from almost any location. Unlike desktop computers, smartphones are constantly present in everyday life, which makes browsing and buying more spontaneous and more frequent. Smartphones also support app based commerce, real time notifications, location enabled services, camera search, and biometric payment authentication. These features make mobile shopping faster and more integrated with daily digital behavior. In a market where many households do not rely on desktop devices, smartphone driven commerce has become the dominant form of e commerce participation. Next one is mobile commerce growth. So, mobile commerce, as we discussed recently in last videos, or m-commerce, refers to commercial activity conducted through mobile devices such as smartphones or tablets, right? So, in India, it has become the leading channel for digital shopping because it aligns well with the country's mobile first internet culture. Successful platforms design their services for small screen, touch interfaces, limited attention spans, and variable network quality. This requires simple navigation, quick loading, personalized recommendations, and low friction checkout processes. App first strategies have therefore been particularly successful in India, where users often prefer dedicated mobile applications over traditional desktop websites. Mobile commerce has also blended naturally with social media use, making product discovery part of entertainment and everyday communication. Third driver is, of course, affordable internet access. So, affordable mobile data has been one of the most important enablers of Indian e commerce growth. As instant access became cheaper and more widely available, especially through mobile networks, a much larger share of the population became able to browse products, right? Compare prices and make digital payments. Lower data costs help shift e commerce from a metropolitan and upper income activity towards broader mass market participation. And we all know it started around 2015-16 when Geo was launched, right? And the structure of the Indian market was completely changed. So the expansion of connectivity also allowed e-commerce platforms to enter semi-urban and smaller town markets. Consumers who previously had limited access to organized retail gained access to far, wider product categories through digital platforms. So there is integration with daily digital life. So in this sense, internet affordability strengthens both market growth and geographic inclusion. Moving forward, let's discuss the further drivers of e-commerce growth in India. Well, digital payment and UPI, another one. So, payment innovation has played a decisive role in India's e-commerce expansion. In the early stages, cash on delivery was essential because it reduced the fear of online payment risk and allowed first time users to test digital shopping without prepayment. Although useful, but cash on delivery also created problems such as failed deliveries, high return rates, and inefficient cash handling. So, the development of digital payments, especially UPI, changed this landscape in fundamental ways. UPI enabled instant account to account transfers through mobile devices, reducing friction in the payment process and making digital commerce more inclusive for users without credit cards, as we discussed earlier also. Smoother transactions improved platform efficiency and helped build consumer confidence in online purchasing, right? Reduction in cash on delivery dependence and then increased consumer confidence. Okay, let's discuss improved logistic networks. Again, the growth of e-commerce in India has depended heavily on logistics capacity, right? Earlier in the day, this was not the case. The logistic capacity was not this much what we are now witnessing. Warehouses, fulfillment centers, delivery partnerships, and tracking systems have all improved the reliability of digital shopping. One day delivery, same day delivery. This all is possible just because of this improved logistics network. If the logistics are not working the way they are working now, obviously the kind of trust people are putting into these mobile apps or businesses definitely would not have been there. Consumers are more likely to trust and reuse e commerce platforms when delivery is timely, visible, and predictable. Leading firms build logistics system tailored to Indian market realities, including difficult last mile delivery conditions and the importance of semi-urban and rural distribution. Logistics investment has therefore been a growth enabler and a source of competitive differentiation. Companies that can deliver quickly and manage returns efficiently gain significant advantage in the Indian market. And this we are also witnessing everybody. I think all of us are witnessing such kind of uh, scenes that there are several logistic companies which are very poor at delivery. Their response time is bad. uh, Always there's a message popping up for delivery failure that nobody was found at the door. In reality, they are never visiting actually. They are just delaying because enough people are not there, right? So such kind of companies create bad impression if you are tying up with them. And similarly, if there's quick delivery, returns are managed efficiently, then there will be a significant competitive advantage through efficient delivery. So these are the drivers of e-commerce growth in India. Uh, Now let's discuss major e-commerce models and platforms in India. So Indian e-commerce includes multiple businesses model rather than a single uniform structure, and we know that by now. We already have discussed the whole structure and features of the e-commerce in India. B2C models connect businesses directly with consumers. B2B platforms enable wholesale and supplier discovery. C2C model support in individual selling and resale, and C2B model allows individual to provide services to business clients. So this diversity reflects the wide range of uh, commercial needs present in the Indian economy, right? So this is something we have discussed in detail in the previous week, I guess. Okay, now coming to Flipkart. So Flipkart is one of India's most important e-commerce platform today, obviously, and has played a pioneering role in the growth of online retail in the country. It operates a hybrid model combining direct retail with marketplace participation and has maintained strong market presence in electronics, apparel, and home goods. Its strategy has been shaped by local realities such as cash on delivery, mobile first users, and the logistical complexity of Indian geography. Then we have Amazon India. So Amazon India represents the entry of a global e-commerce giant into the Indian market, bringing strong logistics capability, marketplace depth, and technological sophistication. Its presence has intensified competition and improved service standards across the industry. At the same time, the company has had to adapt its model to Indian consumers, payment patterns, and regulatory conditions. And we have witnessed this change over the course of these several years since when Amazon started to work in India and today, how this kind of local adaptation is very much visible, right? Then we have Mintra. Mintra is an important example of category specialization in Indian e-commerce. And if you remember in the last week's video, last few videos ago, I think, yeah, we discussed in Mintra's model in detail. So rather than competing across all consumer segments, it has focused primarily on fashion and lifestyle products. This specialization allows stronger brand relationships and visual representation and category expertise. Though it also exposes the firm to high return rates and seasonal demand shifts because if you're dealing into one single kind of a category, then there are times that you are not getting that much of footfall because people in that particular season is are focused towards something else. Yeah, there are certain challenges, but the way Mintra has built itself and now has standing as a giant in this Indian industry is remarkable. Then India Mart, we had talked about it also in the previous videos. So India Mart shows the significance of B2B e-commerce in India. It connects suppliers and buyers for wholesale and business procurement, helping firms identify sellers, compare quotations, and access broader commercial networks. This platform is especially important for small and medium enterprises that require market visibility and supplier access without building expensive offline networks. Then we have OLX and other C2C platforms like Quicker. So, consumer to consumer platforms such as OLX represent another major layer of India's digital e commerce system. These platforms support the buying and selling of used goods, services, vehicles, and property through classified type models. They are particularly relevant in price sensitive markets like India, where second hand trade and informal commerce remain significant. So, moving on from models and platforms, let's discuss the economic and social importance of e commerce. So, e commerce has improved consumer convenience by reducing the need for physical travel, and widening product choices at the same time, and enabling price comparison across sellers. Customers in smaller towns can now access products that may not be available through local retail outlets. And it's a fact. There are categories of product, genres of product, which are still not available in many of the smaller towns. Even in the big cities, you don't know where to locate such kind of products, things which you have always seen in television and movies, right? The kind of products which are being placed in those frames. People have always wondered where to buy this kind of, say, for example, crockery or curtains. Now, every such thing is available via the internet, which is not available in your local kirana store or local market, right? So, this has helped reduce certain geographic inequalities in market access. Though not all digital divides have been removed, this sector has also created opportunities for entrepreneurship. Small firms, home based sellers, and emerging brands can access customers through digital channels without investing in large physical stores. This is especially relevant for micro enterprises, women entrepreneurs, and regionally rooted businesses that want to enter wider markets at lower initial cost. E commerce growth has also generated employment across logistics, packaging, delivery, software development, customer service, digital marketing, and payment processing. The nature of work may differ from traditional retail employment, but the sector is clearly part of India's broader digital economic transition. As platforms expand, they create both direct and indirect forms of economic activity. So as you can see, there's improved consumer convenience, then we have a better market access, geographic divide is being removed, then business opportunities have been widened and opened up for plethora of population, and again there is support for inclusive growth, like people together can grow, right? And employment generation in several sector like logistics, delivery, packaging, all these all are the importance, economic and social importance of e-commerce. Again, now quickly come to the challenges facing e-commerce in India. Number one, you can see infrastructural gaps. Look, despite rapid growth, India's e-commerce ecosystem still faces serious infrastructure constraints, right? Internet quality remains uneven across region still, and many users depend entirely on mobile data rather than stable broadband connections. In areas where network speed is poor or unreliable, digital shopping becomes slower and less convenient. Physical infrastructure is also uneven. Road quality, address systems, warehouse access, and last mile delivery conditions vary substantially across regions. These limitations increase delivery costs and slow the expansion of e commerce into uh, less developed markets. Electricity reliability also matters because digital commerce depends on charged devices, connected networks, and functioning supply systems. So, in places where power interruptions are frequent, digital participation becomes harder to sustain. Infrastructure should therefore be viewed as a foundational condition of e commerce, not just a background issue. Next, there is consumer trust issues. So, trust remains a major barrier for many online buyers. Consumers may worry about counterfeit products, poor quality, delayed delivery, damaged items, or difficulties in obtaining refunds. These concerns are especially strong when consumers are first time online shoppers or when purchases involve high value goods. Platforms attempt to address these issues through ratings, reviews, secure payment systems, buyer protection features, and return policies. While these measures help reduce uncertainty, they do not completely eliminate risk perception. Why? Because a majority of the population is uneducated. They are not aware of the system, right? So, in a large and diverse country, trust building is an ongoing strategic process rather than some one-time solution. High return rates, we had discussed this one. So, returns are a major cost center in Indian e-commerce, particularly in fashion and lifestyle segments, as I had told you in the last videos. When customer return products, firm must bear the expenses of collection, verification, repackaging, restocking, and refunding process. This affects profitability and puts pressure on logistics system. Reverse logistic is often more difficult than forward delivery because it requires coordination across multiple service points and can involve production condition disputes. Delays in refunds or pickup arrangements can also damage customer satisfaction. For this reason, return management has become a central operational issue rather than a secondary support function. Then last mile delivery challenges are there. So last mile delivery remains one of the most difficult aspects of Indian e-commerce. Serving dense urban centers is relatively easier than reaching distant villages, low density settlements, or areas with poor transport infrastructure. Incomplete addresses and difficult local access further increase delivery complexity. These difficulties raise costs and may reduce service quality in remote markets. A platform may be digitally accessible nationwide, but physical delivery still depends on local infrastructure and field level logistics. So as a result, e-commerce growth is often uneven across geographic regions, and of course, intense competition, and there are thin margins, right? So competition in Indian e-commerce is severe. Major firms compete through discounts, advertising, category expansion, delivery speed, and app performance. This benefits consumers, no doubt, but it also compresses profit margins and raises customer acquisition costs. Many e commerce companies prioritize scale and user growth over immediate profitability. This strategy can be effective in winner takes scale markets, but it also creates long term financial pressure. Smaller firms without access to large capital reserves may struggle to survive unless they focus on niche segments or highly differentiated offerings. So, yeah, these are the challenges facing e commerce in India. Let's talk about social commerce and emerging trends, rather, and the future prospects of e commerce in India. So, social commerce is increasingly shaping the next stage of e commerce growth in India, as we had discussed in the last video also. Consumers often discover products through social media platforms and messaging channels before making purchase decisions, and this is happening to all of us, right? We are discovering products on Instagram, specifically the users of Instagram may know this thing. So this makes commerce more interactive, peer influenced, and integrated with everyday media consumption. When on Facebook you are looking at a post and you see that one or two or three of your friends are following that page or like that page, kind of there's a sense of uh, fulfillment or sense of reliability created inside us. For small sellers and new entrepreneurs, social commerce provides lower barriers to entry, right, than some formal marketplace models. It allows businesses to combine relationship building, product demonstration, and selling in a single digital environment. So, this trend is particularly important for home businesses, regional brands, fashion sellers, and digitally enabled women entrepreneurs. Another key trend is the increasing convergence of content, communication, and commerce. So, shopping is no longer always a separate intentional activity. It may begin while watching videos, scrolling social feeds, or interacting in messaging groups. This shift is likely to shape future platform design and marketing strategy in India. So, the future of e commerce in India appears strong because the structural drivers of growth remain active. Smartphone usage continues to support digital participation. Mobile commerce remains dominant, and digital payments have reduced friction for buyers and sellers. Platform innovation is likely to continue in logistics, personalization, vernacular interfaces, and social shopping. At the same time, long term success will depend on solving persistent structural problems. Companies must improve delivery efficiency, reduce return related losses, protect user data, strengthen customer trust, and move toward financially sustainable growth models. The firm that succeed will be those that adapt deeply to Indian conditions rather than relying only on imported business templates. India's e commerce market is therefore best understood as a high potential but complex environment. Its future will be shaped by the interaction of technology, infrastructure, payment system, regulatory framework, and uh, consumer confidence. So let's conclude this video. So e-commerce in India is a story of rapid digital expansion supported by smartphones, mobile internet, digital payments, logistics innovation, and of course, changing consumer behavior. It has widened market access, created entrepreneurial openings, and transformed how people and businesses engage in commercial activity. At the same time, the sector continues to face significant challenges related to infrastructure, trust, return management, cybersecurity, profitability, and regulation. A balanced understanding of Indian e commerce must therefore recognize both its remarkable growth and its persistent operational difficulties. The sector's long term trajectory will depend not only on increasing demand but also on how effectively firms and institutions address the deeper constraint that limits scale, reliability, and inclusion. Right. So this basically this topic offers a strong foundation for understanding digital markets and emerging economies and the practical realities of technology-driven business transformation. So it's the thank you time now, right? Thank you for listening, and we'll meet in the next video. Have a nice day.